All right, in this video, we are going to be learning the Loft tool. With this, we're going to be creating this funnel shape. We're not going to make it exactly like this. For example, this little detail over here, we're not going to really mess with. We're just going to be kind of creating the general shape of a funnel, and so on. So to do so, we are going to be creating faces that are circles and lofting them to each other. The new tool you're going to learn how to use in this is creating planes. We haven't had to do that yet. It is not complicated, but if you don't know how to do it, then you don't know how to do it. Really, the only sketches we're going to be creating are circles. So we're going to make that sketch. We're going to make that circle sketch and that circle sketch down here. And then we're going to be creating planes. We'll probably draw this bottom circle on the top plane. Okay. But then we're going to create planes here and also here in Onshape that don't exist. We're going to be making them. So we've never done this before, so let's get to it. What we're going to start with is we're going to make a sketch on the top face. That's going to be this circle, again, right here. This little guy right here. So let's go ahead and start a sketch. Click on the top face, toggle over to the top. And let's make a circle. Again, let's keep everything on the origin here as well. Let's make a circle that's about half an inch. There you go. Okay, so circle, dimension 0.5. That is all we need in that sketch, okay? So this is the new thing. Okay, so pay attention here. We just have this top face. We need like to duplicate this top face and make a plane that is maybe about an inch higher so that we can loft this circle an inch higher to a larger diameter, okay? So to do that, there's this tool. We are not in a sketch or anything. We're in regular drafting mode. Up here in your toolbox, there's this button here. It's called plane, right? Create a new construction plane by referencing existing geometry. So if you select that, it's going to say what entities do you want to duplicate, basically. We're going to select the top face, and then you can see plane 1 is generating, and it actually defaults it to an offset 1 inch, which is actually exactly what we need. Okay, so you can hit the green check. If you say, if you wanted this to be greater, you can drag that face depending on what you're making. You can type 1.5. You know what? For fun, let's do 1.5. Okay, I want you to change that. Okay, you can also make it negative, or instead of making it negative, you can switch the direction. So maybe you want it actually go down there. Okay, because we're doing a funnel and this is going to be like the bottom of it, we're going to do it upwards, and 1.5 inches with the rest. So this looks like we're in a sketch. We're gonna like edit plane mode, so we're gonna get out of that. And then now you can see we have this plane number 1 here, okay? Just like everything else, you can rename it to be like, middle plane or funnel, if you want to, okay? And it'll pop up there. But the beautiful thing now is now we can draw sketches on it. So if we go to draw sketch, you're going to put this as your sketch plane. And it's basically a top plane, but it's elevated. So you can't tell from this view, but the nice thing is from this view, we can see exactly where that smaller circle is. We're going to draw another circle that's slightly larger than that. Let's go ahead and draw that. And then make this one 0.8. I'm actually going to just delete it because it needs to be slightly smaller. Okay, Awesome, that's what we need for sketch 2, okay? At this point, we can go ahead and complete one part of the loft, so we're gonna loft that little circle to that medium circle. And to do that, over here, we've learned revolve, sweep. Guess what's next? Loft, boom, right there. It looks kind of like a, wait, kind of like a volcano, but not really. Maybe some other kind of landform. Anyways, if you hover over it, it'll tell you it's a loft. So go ahead and flip that. This window looks differently because this tool works differently. Um, Basically, all you need to do is select the profiles that you want to loft to each other. Okay. So to do that, we're just going to click on that circle and that circle. All right, and then it's going to generate a solid between them, which is exactly what we want. Okay. Nothing else. There's some other like things you can do in here. Maybe down the road if you get more complex with what you're planning, you may want to use. But for now, that's all. We just want those spaces to loft. So now you've got that part created, you've got a solid made, wonderful. We need to repeat the process. So let's go up, let's create another plane. Let's do like, I don't know, let's do 2.5 inches. Okay, so we're gonna go and create another plane 2.5 from here. And then that circle is going to be slightly larger. So you can pause the video, turn off the video, see if you can do it on your own, or continue to follow along with me. So we're going to repeat that process. We're going to do a plane. You can offset the top one, or you can just offset the middle plane. And then I said to do a 2.5 inch offset. Looks good to me. And then we're going to place that. I want to be consistent. I can rename this to be top plane. Top plane for funnel. Okay. And then now we're going to make a sketch on this face. Move over to the top. We can see our already existing face and solid. We're going to create another circle and we're going to make this one larger, right? Because we're trying to replicate this object here. So let's go ahead and define this out. We'll do 3.5. So you can see I am right clicking and orbiting around to just verify, kind of the geometry before I finish the sketch. That looks good to me, so I'll finish it. And then I'm going to repeat that loft process. So loft, and then I'm going to select my profiles. Just because this is now solid doesn't mean that face, you can't still select faces. So you can put this face, and generate your funnel shape. Okay. Go ahead and hit check. Right. So wonderful. You can go ahead and screenshot this for your assignment. You can also, if you really want to get crazy, because technically, the funnel's hollow, you can click show and hit this top face and shut this object up, which is kind of cool. And so you can do that too. All right, so there's your funnel. Go ahead and screenshot that and put it in your assignment.